Hello and welcome to the chaos. We are all set up. It is market day. Let me see if I can get you to see my stuff here. You're right. We're all set up at the South Mississippi Toy Fest. Let me back out here, let you see the booth. There we are. Pulling our Comic-Con setup back out again this time around. And we are ready to go. So the show opens in about an hour for the early bird people, and I will check back in with you as we go along. So one of the other vendors here has Pokemon cards. Well, several of them have Pokemon cards, but this one booth had these trick or trade packs that have 3 cards in them. I have never heard of these, but apparently you can get them near Halloween and give them out instead of candy or with candy or whatever at trick or treat. And I just think that is the most fun idea. They let me have 2 of them for free. I'm going to let Tegan have this one, but I'm going to open this one. So let's see what we got. Sorry, I'm a barbarian. I don't know how to do these. Oh, look, they have the cutest little, icon to show that it's a trick-or-treat one. Gourgeist is honestly one of my favorite Pokemon in the game. Pandemonium, reveal the top 6 cards of your deck. This attack does 60 damage for each psychic Pokemon you find there. Then shuffle those Pokemon. Oh, this could be actually really good. That's really fun. That's kind of a fun attack. Then we have a Pikachu. So he can add energy or he can do electro ball. 30 damage for 3 energies is not that great. So this is not really a playable card. Poltegeist, this is my other favorite. Honestly, I just love ghost Pokemon. Those are my absolute favorites. Let's see if I can get it to focus on this. It doesn't want to. It doesn't want to focus. You must discard a Pokemon that has the Mad Party attack from your hand. In order to use this ability, once during your turn, you may draw 2 cards. Well, that's kind of a useless ability. Mad Party. 20 damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile that has a Mad Party attack. Okay, so this one's really gimmicky, and I would never use it. But it's cute. I like the artwork. I wish I could get this to focus better. Let me see. I've got you guys on a box, so it's making it difficult for me to push this forward a little bit. Maybe that'll help. I'll try not to get my finger in the way. See if I can get this to focus on the card and not on the plushies in the background. Okay, so it's a little fuzzy, but it's just really cute, and I like the colors. Okay, so that was fun. A little card opening. Whenever I get Tegan to open hers, I'll show you what she got. Okay, so it's 1 o'clock and about halfway through, I guess. Sales have been on the slower side so far. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sales. 8 sales so far this morning. I've made back my table fee and then some, so I'm not too concerned about it. I knew this wasn't going to be like a hugely successful show. It's not like a super big one. And also, I'm in the same spot that I was in last time, and it's in the second building. There's 2 buildings, so I'm thinking that may have something to do with it, and I may see if for next time if I can get into the first building, the bigger building, and see if that makes a difference. But yeah, so it's not terrible. It's not great. And I have had my first theft. One of my mini Sylveons is missing. I had a rush of kids. One little girl in particular picked it up and said, "This is so cute." And then I got distracted by other people, and the next time I looked, and it was gone. And I've checked in all the other shelves to make sure it wasn't just like put back to the wrong place. And it's not on the floor, under the table, or anything like that. So I'm thinking it might have been that little girl. She looked like she was maybe 7 or 8. Possibly just didn't realize that she couldn't just take it. I don't know. So I'm kind of sad about it, but it is what it is. Nothing to be done about it now. And at least it was something small and not one of my really big ones. So figured for the halfway mark, I'm going to open the second pack of cards. And you guys can see what I get. Let's see. I'm going to do it backwards this time because I think I opened it from the wrong side before and saw like whatever the rarer card in the set was first. So let's do it backwards. Okay. First one, Nickit, holding a berry. That artwork is really cute. I really like that. It's like a washed out like watercolor. Very cute. I like it. Okay, number 2, Cubone. Again, very cute. And that's a good basic, 70 hit points and a good move set. That's a pretty good card. That's playable. And then last one, a Trevenant. Oh, another ghost one. I love all these ghost Pokemon. They're all stage 2 though, and I don't know if I have the stage ones or the basics to play them. He's got Seed Bomb. He's a good one. Oh yeah, he's very playable. I like him. He's cute too. Okay, so that was fun. I need to not get hooked on opening card packs again though, because that's a big money sink. I can't afford to be a Pokemon card collector, but these are fun. I like these little trick or treat packs. Oh, they actually have a little thing on the back. It says, see, it says, what Pokemon surprises hide inside? Halloween night is filled with frightful delight as ghostly Pokemon and their friends join the fun. Gengar, Pumpkaboo, Darkrai, Mimikyu, and a horde of other shadowy Pokemon bring tricks and treats for the spookiest celebration of the year, and Pikachu's tagging along too. That's adorable. Is there a year on this? How old is this? 2022. So these are a little bit older, but oldest it could be is 2022. It could be younger than that, I guess, but probably not. But yeah, I'm gonna see if they still sell these. Maybe towards Halloween time, get a few of them and like hand them out at markets and stuff. I think it'd be really fun. Okay, so that's my check-in for now. We've had a little bit of a rush, but it seems to be kind of slowing down a little bit. I hope it's not too noisy in here for you guys. But I will check in again a little bit later and let you guys know how it's going. Bye. Hi, and welcome to the intro. Not the intro, the outro. Welcome to the outro of this week's market vlog. I didn't manage to record anymore at the market itself. For some reason, my phone battery, like after the midpoint of the day, started draining super fast, and by the end of the day, I was down to like 12%, so I couldn't record anything. And also, I didn't mention this in any of the clips before, but I'd woken up that morning, you can probably hear it now, with a really sore throat. And I just pushed through it and worked through it for the day, but like it hit me like a ton of bricks by the time I finally sat down and stopped moving. And all day today, I've been coughing off and on and really bad sore throat. So I'm going to go through this wrap up quickly so I don't hurt my voice too much, but I wanted to be able to get this video out for you guys. So end of the day, I'm going to say this market was mid. We're just middle of the line. The booth fee was low. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was in the range of like 40 or 50. So not too bad as far as a booth fee goes, but up until the very end of the day, I topped out at like $405 or something like that. It was like just over 400 for the entire day. Then in the last 30 minutes of the day, I got a couple more sales that really like bumped it up to where you would almost think it was like a great market or even a really good market. But I'm not going to count those because they were some of my spotlight items, the really big items, and it's really hit or miss whether those sell. So I can't really ever consider those when I'm considering whether a market was successful or one that I would consider returning to. Now, this particular market, I'll go ahead and say I do plan on returning to. It is a local market for me, and that is important for me to be able to do things locally in my community now and again. I have another local market coming in November that I'm really looking forward to. Low booth fee makes even a small profit worthwhile when I'm not having to drive very far, and it was indoors, which in the middle of August to Mississippi is extremely important. So for all of those reasons, I will continue to go even if the sales are lower. I do think that maybe I will do better if I can get into the bigger room. I think I talked about that in one of the clips before. So when it comes time to sign up for next time around, I think I will see if I can get into the bigger room. So, but let's just go through the items real quick and talk about, what's a bestseller, if anything kind of stands out. Sorry if you hear my kids, they're being a little loud in the back. Okay, so the first thing was one of the Aaron's Yarnimal Charmanders, like a potato Pokemon, for 45. And that same person also bought one of my jumbo aliens for 35. I can't remember who that pattern was from. It was a free Instagram pattern, and I made them like a year ago out of jumbo yarn, and they turned out really cute. But I've still got two of them, I think, just floating around from over a year ago. Then a little boy came and bought my red Junimo for 25, so I only have the pink one left. So I need to make a couple more Junimos. Somebody bought a blue chicken for 25. So I think I'm down to just one blue chicken. So I need to restock on those. I had a gentleman come up and ask, does anybody here make cows? I guess he'd been looking for cows. So I had 3 different cow options. So I pulled them out and showed them, and he wound up choosing the strawberry cow, which was made from the Crochet by Jenna mini fruit cow pattern. But I made it in Bernat blanket, so it turned out pretty big. And that was 65. Then somebody came and bought my jellyfish keychain for 15. That was one that I have a book pattern for, actually. Let's see. I think the book is in this basket that I keep by my table. Nope, that's not it. Here it is. Oh, it's so dirty. Hold on. Whimsical Stitches by Lauren Espy, and it was, you can kind of see it on the cover, this little jellyfish down here, and I made it in sparkly acrylic yarn. All of the patterns in that book are written in acrylic yarn, so if I were to make them in plush, they'd be humongous. So, but that sparkly jellyfish went, and it was fun because she clipped it directly to her purse, and she wandered around the building, and every once in a while I got to see it out of the corner of my eye, just like dangling from her purse, so that was fun. Then I sold one of my large soot sprites for $20. I sold next was 2 of the mini dice tower books for $15 each. They actually did really well. I almost sold out of those. I sold the frog pouch. It's like a leggy frog, but instead of being stuffed, it opens at the mouth, and it's like a pouch you can put things in. So that was 20. Then I sold 2 of the large dice tomes for $30 each. I sold the little troll doll that was the Wonder Crochet free pattern. Sold that for 20. I sold my blueberry cow for 45. I don't remember what pattern that was, and honestly, that one was probably an amalgamation of a couple different patterns, but it was like one of the standing type cows, white with blue spots and blueberries for the horns, and that was 45. I sold a loaf kitten for 15, and it was one of the Bernat Mysticals. I think is it Canyon or Sand something, like the pale warm gray and like a taupe color mix. So that was 15. And so that was the entire day up until the last 30 minutes. And then, so I'm not going to total that from my head right now, but I think that was somewhere around 400, 405, 415, somewhere in that range. But at the very last 30 minutes of the day, a lady came up and bought Rainbow Dash. Well, when she bought the loaf kitten, she also bought Rainbow Dash, and that was one of my $150 plushies. And then 5 minutes later, a dad came by and bought Twilight Sparkle for his little girl. She was so cute, but she looked like she was like 7 years old. So that was another $150 purchase. She was so excited about it. So those two together, being $300, bumped the sales for the day up over 700. So that's what I mean when I say, like, if you don't account for those, it was really, really a mid market. I still profited, and I had a good time, and it was indoors, and I enjoyed myself. So that was good. And I also managed to finish making KP Snuggle Beans Crochet. Snuggle Beans Crochet's Baby Knight and Light Fury Dragon pattern. I made one of these. There's a mod in it for making them to where like they lay kind of on their bellies. So that was the one I did. So, and that being a $65 item covers my booth fee. So that's kind of how sometimes I judge things. If I have the ability to make something or several somethings that would equal the booth fee, then I kind of don't really count mentally the booth fee in the equation because I'm working and earning money by making things at the same time, if that makes sense. So yeah, so those last two final sales really put it up over the mid level into a good level, but I'm not gonna count for those because of how hit or miss it is to sell those big spotlight items. You just can't be guaranteed you're gonna sell one of those big ones. They're there to draw attention, really. Um, People come, they see the big $150 ones, like they see my Harry and Hermione in the top, like those are so beautiful, it's so cool, it's so detailed, I love it. How much is it? Oh my gosh. And then they look at the bottom ones and they're like, oh, but look at this $20 whatever, or $15 keychain, or $35, and they pick something smaller and they enjoy it. So yeah, so that was my day. The only con I really had from the day was at one point, it was never really super busy, but at one point I did have enough people at my booth that I had like multiple customers in front of me at the same time, and I was trying to turn and answer questions. And during that time period, one of my new mini bobble Pokemon, the pattern that I'm currently writing, disappeared from the table, and am pr- I have a clue of where it might have gone. There was a little girl that during that rush picked it up and showed it to me, and she was probably 7, maybe 8. I mean, pretty young. Picked it up and showed it to me with the biggest grin on her face and said, "This is the cutest thing I've ever seen." And I wasn't able to keep a close eye, and I don't think she had a parent with her. And I turned to answer somebody else's question, and it wasn't until later that I realized it was missing, but that was what stuck in my mind. She was the only one I remember seeing pick it up. I could be wrong, but I would rather believe it was a little girl who maybe just hasn't been taught better yet, who walked off with it, not realizing that she can't just take things from other people just because she wants them, than to think that it was an adult or an older person who definitely knew better and did it maliciously. I would much rather it was a cute little girl who was maybe not as well trained. I'll say that. Um, and just took it for the love of the item than someone who took it maliciously. So that's my 2 cents on that. So that was the end of the market. The dice tomes did the best, I think. I sold the most dice tomes out of anything, and everything else was just kind of, I mean, there was really no theme to it. It wasn't like this time all the Pokemon sold like at the last market. It was just kind of one of these and one of those and one of these and one of those. So, but it was a fun market. Um, and yeah, so that's all I have to say about that. I'm gonna finish off here and load all these clips into my computer so I can try to start editing this and hopefully get it out this evening. And I will see y'all in the next vlog. I have something exciting for the next one having to do with Premier's new yarn line. So I look forward to showing you that. Bye.